HyperPet, the 4-ball launcher. It's like a Slingshot launcher. 4 tennis balls fit here, although we don't use tennis balls. We've found that we really like racket balls. They go a lot further, and when she chews on them, they don't fall apart as readily. They're a little smaller. They're a little easier for my arm to throw, so they're a little easier for her mouth. It just seems like it's a nicer size for us. Tennis balls may be fine for you, but just so you know, if you're a little smaller, you might like racket balls. I've done a few modifications on here. You're supposed to hold this like this. Has a nice grip right here. You're supposed to hold it on the grip and pull back. I don't get enough leverage at all doing it that way. So what I found is I put my hand a little further, and then I have lots of leverage. It kind of locks my arm in place. So I've put just a few pads on here depending on where I want to grab it and which hand I'd like to use, because I like to switch off. You would think because I'm right-handed that it would be easier for me to use my right hand pulling back, but that's actually not the case. I prefer to pull back with my left. Okay, so very easy to use. We love this toy. It makes our time at the park about half, because she has to run double far. And I'm going to spin the camera in a second so you can see how far this ball goes. But when the HyperPet comes, these bands right here are actually a lot longer. They come quite a bit longer, I would say back to here. And we had a few problems. They were breaking up here. And I actually prefer them a little shorter because I don't have to pull back as far to get the launch going. So you see what works for you. So you can also use a bigger ball. This is our favorite ball in general. It's a little heavier than a tennis ball, but when she bites on it, it gives way and bends, and also cleans her teeth a little bit. We love this ball because it's almost indestructible. It's one of the only balls we've ever bought that she can just chew and chew and chew, and nothing really ever happens to it. It's great. I don't know the name of it, but I'll post it. Got it on Amazon. Okay, bring me the ball. Come on. No, you're not getting this ball. Bring me that ball. Come on. All right, can't have 2 balls. She'll want to play with whichever one she doesn't have. Okay, I'm going to put this one someplace. Surprised her on that one. In my first week of having it, now mind you, we go to the park twice a day for about an hour each time, so we do get a lot of play out of it, but it broke within the first 8 days, I think. And what broke was this connection piece right here. Okay, so this is where you pull back, and when you pull back kind of on a little bit of an angle, and there's let me see if I can show you on this one. If you can see that there's a little I don't know what you would call that, like a little head that goes over the metal part here, and it's loose. You can see it on this one that isn't broken yet. It's actually in there loose, and I think that that is really what is the problem. It's not the fact that this rubber is not strong, it's that because this pops off, it creates a sharp edge here. I don't know if you can see that very well. It creates this sharp edge, so when you pull on a little bit of an angle, this sharp edge cuts the rubber. So I think the fix is really to take this head piece off, take all this rubber off, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue them both on here really well with some super strong glue. And then we bought some more rubber tubing, and we'll reconnect it. Now, the company themselves, when I called them, they said they would send a replacement, which was really very nice, but they would only send it once. So if this does happen to you, just contact the company. They'll at least send you one. I'm really only going to use it for this thing because it comes with this part that you hold the ball. I'm actually going to just use it for when this one falls apart, because we bought a ton of this tubing online, and I think that once we glue this on, the problem should pretty much be fixed, and so we'll only have to replace this rubber when it actually wears itself out, which seems like it takes quite a lot of playtime to wear it out. It's really just this connection. So there's a few other modifications I made on here just for me because I have short arms. This is meant to be held like this, and my arm is just not strong enough to do that, so I actually hold it here like this, and it was just you know, a little rough on my hands, so I makeshifted with some insulation for tubing, I think for plumbing or something like that, and just put it on with tape, but you probably won't need that, especially if you're a strong person.